give her a crack. This is a standard IPA. What did we say? 7.1.
Yep.
So, 3, 2, 1. That was good.
Sunday afternoon, with our glasses in our hands, the hops and barley bloom in a land of craft and cans. Every sip a story shared, review and taste we dare with our Sunday sips.
All right, testing.
Sunday sips.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Every for a
Check.
trip.
We're good. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sunday Sips.
Sips.
Featuring your boy, Kyle Lucas. That's your other co-host.
Nick Word.
Fine. Today, we're coming at you back in the pocket. Back in the pocket. Back in the pocket. I wanted to say socket. I don't know why I wanted to say that.
Sure.
Another really good collaboration beer we have for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is actually a special one because this is one in collaboration with a band, a very famous band. I don't think Nick knows much about the band. Just not his style of music. Nick's more of a country boy. I mean, I like country too.
Yeah.
You and your wife have turned me
Indoctrinated
on
you,
to country.
Yeah.
But this is a very goth. I don't like to say goth. Alternative rock, dark rock style band. The Deftones.
The Deftones.
The Deftones, very famous. They're going to be in Sacramento soon. I looked at tickets. It just didn't fit into my time frame
Sure.
of going to shows.
Sure.
But I will see them in my lifetime. This happens to be Belching Beavers, Deftones,
Phantom Bride
IPA. That's smoke, man.
A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke right now. We're supposed to have a smokeless fire pit. It is not so at the moment.
Yeah, Belching Beaver is very good brewery. Very good brewery. We've had a couple of their beers before, not on the podcast, but in IRL.
Sure.
And this is just a very standard IPA. Phantom Bride. They collaborated with Chino from Deftones. I'll read a little bit for you.
Yeah.
About it. The Deftones Phantom Bride release. Phantom Bride is the name of one of their songs on the album Gore, which came out 2016, 2015, something like that. Named after the ethereal song by the one and only Deftones, Phantom Bride IPA is a blend of Amarillo, Citra, Simcoe, and Mosaic hops, delicately balanced for the perfectly drinkable mix of citrus and hoppy goodness. A truly original Deftones / Belching Beaver collab, envisioned by Chino Moreno and skillfully crafted by Thomas Peters. Sit back, put your headphones on, and drink away. This is available year-round. This is a collab that's not just popularized by a single time frame. They do produce this year-round.
Sure.
It's the ABV is 7.1.
Wow.
60 IBUs.
Wow.
So we're getting a big beer, bitter beer.
Yep.
This is also has an award for Beer Army Beer Wars 2018.
Okay.
Number 1
Okay.
IPA.
All right.
So it's got some merit to it.
Yeah.
A little bit more before we crack it open. Belching Beaver, just specifically without the collab.
Please.
It's based in San Diego in the great state of California. Founded in 2012 by Thomas Vogel, Dave Mobley, and brewmaster Troy Smith, who formerly served as brewer at Coronado Brewing Company.
Ooh, okay.
So they're not regional.
Yeah.
They're not regional to us because we're in NorCal.
Sure.
But California is California.
They're well known
Well known
in that region. For
absolutely.
Sure.
Well, up here too. I feel like
for sure.
I feel like people.
We've
know.
had a couple of stouts by then. For sure.
I feel like that's the majority of what we had.
Yeah.
Is Belching Beaver stouts.
Yeah. They do a great peanut butter stout.
They do. Me too.
Like a very delicious peanut butter stout.
Yeah.
I cards on the table. I saw this at our local bottle shop. I saw it for, $12 for a 4-pack. I was like, that seems like a really great deal to at least try a new beer. Let's see what's going on.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Deftones is one of my favorite artists. I dip into the rock metal side of things. I play music, and that's usually what I venture towards. Even though I love country, I love all types of music. But Deftones definitely a classic band.
For sure.
Chino and friends they're geniuses.
For sure.
Phantom Bride actually is not if I can get you a tidbit because you don't know about Deftones. Phantom Bride is not a song that I would
not like one of their marquee songs.
Right. That I would pull out of a hat, but it's definitely a good song.
Yeah. On
a decent album, Gore. My favorite, obviously, purists. We're gonna like the White Pony album 2000. It's undoubtedly one of the best albums ever created.
Oh, wow.
Not too
high praise,
deserved praise. Not to single any of their other albums out for not being as good, but I feel like that's like their My Chemical Romance Black Parade album.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that's their album.
Sure.
White Pony is super good.
Sure.
Let's give her a crack. This is a standard IPA. What did we say? 7.1.
Yep.
So 3, 2, 1. That was good.
Not bad. I will say that on the fire side of things, we have gone from lots of smoke to really smokeless. I think it really is a matter of getting it hot enough. When it gets hot enough, the smoke definitely dissipates.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Right to the edge.
No, but can you concur that we're really not seeing a lot of smoke now? We're just seeing a lot of flame?
I concur.
You concur?
I concur. You ever seen that movie? Catch Me If You Can? With
DiCaprio and fucking Tom Hanks?
Yeah. When he's like faking to be a doctor, and he's like, "Do you concur, doctor?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "I concur." I think about that every time. Dude, the colors, standard IPA. Look at that, standard IPA. A little bit of cloudiness.
It smells like an IPA. Too.
A little bit of cloudiness.
Oh my God.
Not too much. You're right on the nose. It's very
We've been
piney.
talking about this a lot. We'll take our first sips and then I'll get into it.
It's very piney.
Cheers.
Oh. Mother of God.
This is a theme that I brought into the last week's podcast.
Yeah.
Which is the visceral thoughts that I have as soon as I smell a beer.
Yeah.
Last week it was Rollins Lake because I've had great fucking ales, blonde ales
From the Paradise one.
From the Paradise beer. While we're, there's been amazing ales that we've had while we've been camping that really remind me of those memories.
Sure.
This one, and I think this might be I don't know if you're expecting this, but this one reminded me of the Sacramento Brewers Showcase.
Hell yeah.
Because we went there.
That was fun.
And it wasn't a specific IPA that brought this to memory, but we were there. It was a somewhat cold day like this.
It was
mid-50s.
It was.
And we had a ton of great IPAs, and the sip that I had, I was like, that reminds me of when we were at this venue having these awesome IPAs.
Yeah.
Enjoying that moment. So
other than like there were a couple breweries that did like sours and stuff like that.
Sure.
Other than that, there weren't like lighter beers.
No, there's a lot of IPAs,
a lot of IPAs,
stouts, a lot of heavier stuff.
This in and of itself is a classic IPA. This is very bitter.
For sure.
Dude, the 60 IBUs is hitting. It's hitting.
Oh, yeah.
If you do not like bitter beer, you're not gonna like it.
No.
You're not gonna like it. You can like the Deftones all you want. Definitely not for you. It's heavily bitter. It's still refreshing.
Yep.
It does not have a light taste.
Yeah.
It's a heavy taste.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me because, with Belching Beaver, like I said, my largest, recollection for Belching Beaver is stouts, peanut butter stouts. It's heavier stouts. It's stuff that falls in line with that kind of alcohol, that kind of beer. And for them to make a really, from what I'm tasting so far, a really decent IPA, shows me that they have range.
Yeah.
That they're able to make some different stuff and make it work really well.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
We like to talk about the breweries that we're gonna visit and everything like that. We're gonna take trips out to breweries, and I actually have a good idea. We should do little vlogs over there.
Oh, for sure.
At different breweries.
For sure. I would love to do that.
Just little couple minute vlogs.
No,
stuff like
day
that.
in the life kind of thing.
This one's hard because it's all the way in San Diego.
We could do a SoCal brewery trip. I would like that a lot.
We, as a friend group, we have a lot of trips planned in the near future.
We do.
But after that, I feel like world is oyster.
World is oyster.
So,
as one would say,
as a lot of us would say, I feel like then
is
we
your
can.
Face melting right now?
A little bit. Nick put a log in the fire that it was questionable. I took it out and then put it back in.
We've got no smoke right now.
It's zero smoke. All
zero
fire.
smoke.
Zero smoke, all fire. But San Diego it's a trip.
San Diego would be
a trip.
yeah, for sure. There's a ton of great San Diego breweries, a ton of great Southern California breweries in general.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to go down there and try some of those.
I feel like for most of you guys, a trip is designated short or long just because of, do I drive there? Is it drivable within a few hours?
Sure.
Or does this trip require a flight?
Sure.
After a flight is concerned, then it becomes a big trip. Right? Just because, airline fees and all, and it costs. It's a lot. It's not doable.
Sure.
But it's something that needs to be planned out. Definitely in the future, if we definitely should go to SoCal and check out a lot.
There's definitely some locations that I want to check out. SoCal is one of them. Asheville, North Carolina is another one. Most breweries per capita in the entire United States.
Yeah.
I would love to go check that out.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring you along for the mix.
Absolutely.
We've done the Oregon brewery kind of tour.
Mm-hmm.
We have not recorded it. It would be great to go back and do that again.
We'll go back and do it again.
Because that was very
it's very
enjoyable,
very time stamp in your life when you think about a time specific part of your life. Those kind of trips are very amazing, and I encourage all of our watchers and listeners to do brewery tours of their own and get out there and explore. It's funny because if you don't think about trips as like, I'm going to France or I'm going to Ireland, right? There's a lot around your locale that is super explorable.
There's so much to be discovered in, just the place that's a couple of counties over from me. I mean, there's so much. I think we had an incredible amount of fun exploring Bend, Oregon. And that's 5 hours away from us. That's not a giant flight away from us. That's not, an incredible days-long trek.
Or even Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Auburn.
Sacramento even.
Yeah.
Sacramento's got great breweries.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be found in terms of how people brew beers, how people do their practice their businesses, how the culture is in different areas, even of a particular state.
Sure.
I appreciate it a lot.
I would like to say the can is super cool with the beaver skull.
Yeah.
And then they have the emblem of the Belching Beaver on the top, the actual logo. The beaver skull is super cool with the roses around it. Super awesome. It's very Deftones-y.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know, but it's very Deftones-y.
I don't,
but dark rock. It's very much them. I love the collaboration. I would have never seen this. You picked this off the shelf.
No, I found this.
Knowing.
Yeah, it was it was a pretty good deal at our local bottle shop.
Yeah.
And I
dude,
figured,
this is awesome.
What the heck? Why not give it a shot and see what it's all about?
So about the beer taste, super piney,
Yeah.
Super, very bitter.
Yep.
The 60 IBUs, like we said. This is I feel like this is correct in what we're doing. Very campfire beer.
Yep. Yep.
Not necessarily like a river or like a beach beer.
Not like a 1 p.m. like a set
Right.
for these beers.
This is like a 6, 7 p.m. This is like an after dinner
It's
beer.
like a wind down.
Yeah, wind down beer. It's amazing. The flavor is super good. I can't say anything bad about it. The blend of the taste of the hops is there. The citrus and the traditional hops is definitely there.
Yep.
If I were to have, I mean, it's 7.1%. If I were to have a couple of these, I'd probably be happy, and then I'm probably going to move on to something else.
Yeah.
3 or more, we're getting to uncharted.
Oh yeah.
Well, charted territory.
Sure, but
It's been charted, but those maps just don't come back.
100%.
It's very strong, very strong. I'm not mad about it, but again, just keep in mind out that it is. I feel like it does taste like 7%.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think it was one of those things that I bought because the price was right, and I wasn't really expecting much, but it does pack a punch.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I think we should score it.
A rating.
Get right into it.
I'll get with you. You go.
You're gonna start with me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting because I'm thinking about the scores that we give on a regular basis. And I think they're all indicative of the different types of beers that we've had before them and how they stack up to the other beers in their weight class.
Yeah.
And I like this IPA. I like it a lot. But I've also had, and I think because it's an IPA, I think it's in a category that is very, very difficult to compete in.
Yes. It's a very crowded category.
100%. There's a lot of people wanting to compete, and a lot of
Because
people.
IPAs are good.
Yeah. So I feel like in a different world, I would give it a higher score, but I think right now it's a 7 flat because I think it's really good, but I don't think it's as good as the IPAs that we've had so far in this podcast.
Sure. I feel like I want to give it a higher score because of the Deftones collab.
Sure.
That's
tugging at your heartstrings a little bit.
But also that's kind of unfair to Belching Beaver.
Right.
Because at the same time they did a lot of work to put this out. I always go back when it's just a traditional IPA to, pale ale.
Sure.
And I feel like it's definitely under that. I want to give it a good rating, but at the same time, I want to be fair to how I actually feel about it.
Sure. It's a good beer. That's the tough thing. It is a good beer.
It's a good beer. I'm going to give it a 6.75.
Okay.
Right under you.
I don't think that's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I just feel bad.
I just think it's easier to get a greater score if you're working in a niche that not a lot of people are in.
Yeah.
But everyone's making a great idea.
So my mindset was
Everyone.
take the Deftones part out of it.
Right.
And it would probably be like a 6.75.
Yeah.
6.25 would be way too low.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, carbonation is on
All
point.
right, champ.
Carbonation's on point. But like a 7.25
For sure.
way too high in my mind. 6.75 still good. I'd like to remind people that above a 5 is a very
Above a 5 is I drink this beer again.
very desirable beer.
Right.
I really like it. If you were to give it to me, I'm not going to be mad.
Sure.
If we're like Riverside, like at Whiskey Town or something like that, I probably wouldn't drink too many of these.
No.
I'd have one.
Yeah.
I'd have one.
Yeah.
Unless the sun has gone down and
Sure.
we're around the campfire,
and then all bets are off.
Dude, then I'll drink 3 or 4 of these.
Right.
But
and that's why you bring the IPAs to the Whiskey Town trip.
Yeah.
For the after hours.
You
campfire.
drink the Valles during the day, baby, and you drink these IPAs.
Never
during
spoken
the
a
night.
more of a word of truth.
Yeah.
God damn it. You go light during the day, you go heavy at night.
It's all about pacing.
Pacing, baby.
Pacing, baby. Perfect for pacing.
Perfect for pacing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I really enjoy it though. It's super good.
No, it's a solid beer.
I do think that this is not. We just said, I'll have like 2 or 3 of these. I think this is like a special one to where it's like, ooh, I'll have one of those bride beers. This Phantom Bride beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just as a one-off.
Yeah.
And then you go back to like something more traditional.
For sure.
But it does shine in its own light.
Yeah.
So
no, I think it's a good beer. Cheers, bub.
All right, buddy. Cheers. Oh, as the wind picks up. Dude.
Get any final thoughts on this IPA?
I'm excited to do more Belching Beaver reviews.
And I will more Belching Beaver reviews, more reviews that are more accessible to the larger, to the masses.
Sure.
Because we are going to do local beers.
Right.
And local beers might be available at a regional level. And I feel like we owe it to those local brews because there are some really good local brews in Chico, California.
True.
And Sierra Nevada is a huge epicenter for that because if you have the best craft brewery in America sitting in Chico, California, you're going to create competition because of that. You're going to create breweries that aspire to be you. And because of that, they're making a lot of good stuff.
True.
But
there's always
that
room
being
for
said,
more.
Sorry.
I'm just saying, this is one of the few markets that is accessible to all because no matter if there's Sierra Nevada, like you said, the #1 craft brew in America, like you in your hometown, there's there is so much room for new breweries to pop up
for sure.
Because everyone likes a new brewery.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room to go around, and they all compete at a certain level against one another in a very healthy way.
Yep.
To where you don't have someone that's just going to be like, I'm going to go here and that's it. You have a community that goes to every single brewery all the time.
Yep.
All the time. As long as your customer service stays great, your beer selection stays up to date.
Yep.
As long as you're not like stagnant, right?
Yep.
And your food selections are pretty good. There are people like Sierra Nevada that do in-house where they have their own kitchen. There are people like Secret Trail that and Beer Lobo that do
food trucks.
Yeah. And like other businesses to come in and work with them.
Yeah.
And that creates more stimulation in the economy, the local economy. I love it. Yeah. And there's always room for one more.
Yeah.
So
always.
Always.
I think about there's a thing on the bicycle. I'm a big cyclist, as you know. I don't know if anyone else in the podcast knows.
Well, if they watch the rest of the channel,
I'm very much N+1, which is bike +1 essentially. Like your ideal number of bikes is your number of bikes plus the next one.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel about breweries. My ideal number of breweries is the breweries that we have +1.
You have a problem.
So, yeah, for sure. But I guess what I'm saying is, it is exciting anytime there's a new brewery in the mix to see what kind of niche they can offer, to see what kind of difference they can add to the current market.
Right.
Chico has done that very well. I think, for the most part, all of the breweries in Chico add a different element.
Sure.
That not all of them is really hitting on the head.
Right. They all specialize.
They all do their own thing.
Yeah.
With Sierra Nevada maybe being the one that does the most of the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, like all of them do a really good job of differentiating each other from others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we're looking forward to here is finding breweries that do that on a more national scale.
Yeah.
Like I want to try beers that are unique, but are unique and available to the masses.
In certain locales.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Anywho.
We giving you your ratings. Check them out. Belching Beaver.
Belching Beaver.
Specifically check out the Deftones Phantom Bride IPA.
It's a fun beer.
If not, like check out Belching Beaver. We know they have a bunch of good stouts and other beers. They're a very well known brewery. So yeah, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe down below. Hit that bell, get those notifications on.
Woo.
And don't forget, you crack one for us, we'll crack one for you. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Take care.
Recess to dark night, we unravel flavors lore. Mosaic dreams take flight of IPAs, and we adore. Raise a toast to what's new here in the world of craft beer with Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a trip with our Sunday sips. Each note we hear as we sip and cheer. Craft beer's near. Sunday's treasures clear with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a drip with a Sunday.